Hey traders, Greg here. So we've got another ping pong session going on. We saw this last week. We see it again today. Market started off in a bullish mode, gapping up this morning, and you can see the cues there came up to the top of the range on our 5-minute chart down here, and then began to erode. And as I was talking in the green room here, what should happen is, well, buyers should step up here, if they're going to hold the day and move it back up. And as it rattled around here, and notice this bar right here, this was kind of the trigger bar in the moment. Obviously seeing after the fact, but nonetheless, it traded above these highs and then a bigger red bar. It didn't mean it would come all the way back down here, but the selling just began to feed on itself. And while it attempted to stall there in the gap fill, and it came down and had this, okay, now we're going back down further, maybe down to the bottom of the range there on this chart, but it held there and it flipped right back up and now moving up toward the top of the range. In a higher time frame, we're just running in place in the middle of nowhere, and we just have to see what's going to happen here by the end of the day. Do we have a bar like this? Does it maybe get up toward the top there and have a bottoming tail bar that has a wider body, the difference between the open and closes, which could potentially then set up move maybe toward the 50 MA. We'll have to see. On the 65-minute chart, it's just a trading range, back and forth, back and forth. So if it can close up here and then break out above these pivots, that would open up the door to coming up into this void above. S&P 500, same story. It looked great. It looked like it could go back up. It hit the top of the range there at that pivot. Sellers came in, knocked it back down. Buyers came in at the bottom of the range, and why I call it just a ping pong session here. And now that it's at the top, sellers are coming in again. And our factory work now says, hey, this started with a wide range bar up. The retracement was deep. If it could rattle around up here, this blue line is the opening price. If it could rattle around here and go sideways, it would open up the door to potentially going higher. We'll wait to see. That's what we have to do. Dow, same story. Different charts, different indices, but similar price action. Bottom of the range, top of the range. Semiconductors came out of the blocks really strong, maybe a little bit stronger than others, and cleared resistance, but then caved in, broke down below the range. Now it's in the middle of the range. Again, just range bound on the 65-minute chart, going nowhere. We'll see what this does. And depending on where you look around, it's similarly, technology bouncing around there. Some individual stocks, some look better than others, but overall, it's just a lot of running in place. And we will have to wait to see how this shakes out. Typically after 2 o'clock, as people come back from lunch and things slow down here, and maybe things get digested over the next couple of hours, and we'll have a better idea as to the direction that prices may move into the close and then into tomorrow. As always, if you have any questions, email us, Greg at Master Trader and Dan at Master Trader.